All right, so solving proportions, 6-1. We're starting a new unit right now on similarity. And we're going to take it slow with talking about proportions. So we're going to make sure that we can actually solve a proportion and type it into Desmos correctly before we move on to their application. It's really easy work as long as you type it correctly. So proportions are like fractions. Here's an example. I have this x fourth, or x over 4, equals 3 over 6. Now, what you would actually do is use the cross product property, which says, you've probably referred to it as cross multiplying. And what you would do is you're going to cross multiply like that. So you would say 6x equals 4 times 3. Remember, parentheses indicate multiplication. 6x equals 12, and then to get the x by itself, we would divide both sides by 6, and then we would get x equals 2. Now, for our purposes, we're just going to type it into Desmos. That's going to make our life so much easier. So, the trick, though, is that you have to multiply, you have to type in this first step. 6x equals 4 times 3. And if you look up here, I get x equals 2. Now, sometimes you can type it in without using that first step, but you won't always get the right answer. So your safest bet is to always cross multiply and type that part into Desmos. Another example. So I'm going to cross multiply. So that gives me 56x equals 7 times 72. Now this time when I typed it in, I only used one set of parentheses, and that's okay. You got to use the set of parentheses though. And I get x equals 9. So x equals 9. Last example. Now this is totally different because I've got variables in both of those parts. Also notice that the variables are z's. And when I use Desmos, I can only use x's. So cross multiply here. 5 parentheses x minus 8 equals, cross multiply here. I always put the number on the outside by itself, and then I put the x and its number with it. So 5 times x minus 8 equals 20 times x minus 2. X equals 0, or z equals 0. And that's it. You got to use parentheses, and you got to do that first step across multiplying.